It's time for your happy hour and a half. Live from the 5 Eyewitness News Studios, it's Twin Cities Live.
Hey everybody, welcome into Twin Cities Live on this Tuesday. Hopefully it's a great Tuesday for you at home. Elizabeth Reese, how are you?
I'm doing very well, Ben Hamon. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good, yeah. It's a great day. You're just moving the table around. You got your Pilates in today. Now you're feeling strong and you're just like
sore. Doris
pushing furniture
she put me through the ringer this morning. Doris, my Pilates instructor, she doesn't mess around. It was tough.
Well, listen, if you're going to show up at 6 a.m.,
I know.
You better be ready to work.
It really is. It's a good thing.
Not just to lay around on the reformer and just chit-chat.
No, I feel pretty proud of it. I started going in September, and I have been consistently going ever since September. And I just really, I think when you find the workout you like, you find the instructor. I go with my next door neighbor who I love. Hey, Becky, you're the best.
Hey, Bex.
And it's just been a very nice thing. Can be hard as moms, like to just find one time a week. I don't know. I was like, you know what I spend my money on? Everybody else's stuff. Like, I'm constantly spending money on everybody else's physical activities. Golf, gymnastics, hockey, baseball, swimming lessons. Like, you know what might be nice? One thing for the mama over here.
Unfortunately, you have to get up at 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah, no one drives me, and no one fills up my water bottle. I have to do it myself.
Okay, everybody, listen. This is the point. When I'm just going to stay on this moment for a second.
Okay.
Consistency is key.
I know.
Just like you said.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing some sort of where are we at? Some sort of workout routine, whatever you got going on. Consistency is key. Stick with it. Even if it's 6 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Well, and don't you think the accountability, because it actually helps, like you always ask me on Tuesdays, how was Pilates today? It's so nice. And then I always think like, yeah, I am doing Pilates.
Yeah, I know. You know what else is really consistent? I've never really met a casserole I didn't like.
Well, there can be some bad ones. You obviously didn't go to a lot of church potlucks growing up like I did.
I guess that I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of good casseroles, and today is no different. So Amy Hanton is here, and she's got a casserole recipe for Easter.
This is great.
For all of you out there that maybe don't feel like making the big ham. Right?
Or in addition to.
Or could be, or in addition to.
However you want to do. Or if you have the leftovers.
Or if they have the leftovers.
You want to do
That's
it on
the
another
beauty
day.
about a casserole.
Okay, we're also going to get to sample and celebrate some special donuts. Ufta Donuts is in Maple Grove. Maple Grove is, of course, the focus of Twin Cities Live in your town this week. So we're going to get the story behind these great donuts, and they brought over just a couple to show off. Grace, how many, for the love of God, how many do you have over there? What do you think, 20, 25
a couple
donuts?
30, a couple 40?
40 donuts. Look, Grace, I want you to see her. She is standing guard. She will not allow anyone from this television to tackle those donuts before the segment. Grace, yes.
We need security over there. You're doing a great job, Grace. I'm surprised that you're not just trying to just steal a little nibble here and there.
Well, you know, Grace.
Self-control.
She's doing a good job.
Also, Mandy Toddick is here to talk about what we missed on last night's episode of American Idol. Apparently, they went halfway across the Pacific over to Hawaii and did some fun stuff over there.
Very fun.
I know.
All right, well, you ready to go from fun to a big womp womp?
It is tax day if you don't already know. So the question is,
thank you.
There it is. Have you filed your taxes yet?
No, I filed an extension.
I did an extension. Well, that's filing taxes, right? I mean, we're doing something by the deadline.
Yeah,
whether we're paying the taxes or we're extending the taxes.
I got Trevor doing the extension.
Way to go, Trevor.
Okay, way to go, Trevor.
So we're going to have some very unique things you won't believe that you can write off on your taxes.
Okay, this is a list that comes from AARP. Now, we want to be clear. We're not tax experts. No, we do not have. What do you have to have? A CPA? You're a CPA? You're a tax professional?
And a pocket protector.
I don't even know.
I don't have a pocket protector.
So none of this is tax advice. Don't take tax advice from us. Don't ask us for tax advice. You can call Trevor. You can call Ben's guy, I'm sure.
Wade. Let's call my guy Wade.
Wonderful. All of these instances are very specific situations, so we're not saying that 100% of the time you can get all of these things deducted. Is everybody clear?
Clear.
Everyone's clear on the ground rules of this story.
Yes.
Well, we don't need to be sued up in here. Did you know that it is possible to deduct body oil?
Woo! I can think of a few jobs that include body oil.
In this case, It's for professional weightlifters. Get your mind out of the gutter, you dirty bird. Okay, so weightlifters, professional bodybuilders, they've got to really shine it up. Takes a lot of oil to shine up all of that skin, and since that's part of their job, they can purchase the body oil as a business expense. Okay? So there's a principal analyst who says that if it can be associated with some sort of income, it was allowed. So if you're like earning something as a professional weightlifter or bodybuilder, then you can write off your body oil.
So if you're not a good professional bodybuilder,
right, you haven't made any money.
haven't made any money, can you still write it off?
I don't know. That's where you're going to need to consult your tax
so
professional.
Really quickly, let me share a quick body oil, baby oil story for you guys.
Why?
Now listen, this is clean. Okay, this is the first thing I think of when I think of baby oil. So in college at Kansas State, we did a really bro-y locker room caveman thing. So if you had to meet these weightlifting benchmarks, no pun intended.
I got it.
And if you did that, then you got yourself on this weightlifting poster that would go around to the city to promote the football team.
Meathead motivation.
Meathead motivation. And all of these pictures, as you can imagine, were all taken with our shirts off. So before said photo shoot, we're in the weight room, just bottles of baby oil.
No.
Just slathering all over us.
Slippery on the floor, probably.
Oh, probably. We didn't care. It's the middle of summer. We probably could have just walked outside and just had the humidity just like evoke all the sweatiness. But here we were, a bunch of college athletes just like putting all this oil on us, and then we go out to the 50-yard line. We're like, just trying to look so buff and so big. Oh, God.
Did you make it on the poster? Avi. Why
Avi.
did I even ask?
Avi. I'm not even going to go through all my numbers. That's for another day.
Oh, my God.
Let's talk about clarinet lessons.
How can you write those off? Kristen Hobrick, remember when Kristen called me one day after I was trying to get a hold of her, and she was like, sorry, Elizabeth, I couldn't take your call. I was shopping for a reed for my clarinet.
Shopping for a reed.
She really was, because she was doing a shoot, and then it was very funny.
Well, it's funny that I say it like that, because in 1962, a parent deducted the cost of her child's clarinet lessons because the doctor, the orthodontist, said it would help correct the child's overbite. So as long as the IRS gets some sort of medical expense from a doctor, like an actual doctor's note, said prescription.
Back in 1962.
Back in 1962.
We're not clear what current tax code is.
Yes, yeah. Again, we're not telling you guys any sort of like advice. We are not accountants. We're just reporting the news.
Yeah.
So this happened back in 1962, and she deducted the cost of a clarinet.
Listen, you know what? There are only two sure things in life, death and taxes. And so you want to try to figure out how to avoid both.
Exactly.
For as long as possible, as much as possible. Okay, ransoms.
Ransoms.
Did you know this?
This happens a lot. This happens a lot. Maybe not in Minnesota, but boy, in those southern states, boy, it happens all the time.
The amount of times that I have been shaken down for ransom.
This is not ransom like you're thinking.
Okay,
ransom.
so this is ransomware. That's a computer program that can encrypt important business information. I'm sure we have it here at Hubbard Broadcasting. Then hackers demand payment for a key to unlock the data. So if you are the victim of a ransomware attack, you can get the cost deducted as a business expense. Well, that's possible and positive if you can provide proof that the attack occurred. Who are we calling? I don't know about that. Doesn't it sometimes feel like if we just simplified the tax system, it would make it a lot better for everybody? I mean, I'm not running for office, but am I running for office?
You want to just go ahead and take this one? You want to go down the tax code talker?
I don't know.
I'm out of here if you're going to go do that, because I don't know enough about it, and I don't want to get myself in trouble.
I know, but it feels like it's a little bit overcomplicated.
I know.
I feel like even the IRS would agree that it's kind of overly complicated.
I'm with you on that. It's like a whole political side that I don't really know much about, but all I do know is there's too much going on. It's way too confusing. Okay, this next one kind of falls in somewhat line with the clarinet.
Okay, what are we doing here? What are we deducting?
So you can deduct swimming pools.
How?
Because, again, this man got a doctor's note saying that because of his health, he couldn't work out in any other way. Swimming was the best way for him to work out because of his arthritis.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it actually helped his arthritis and made his body feel better. So using the doctor's note, he was able to install a pool and write some of it off.
I feel like I want like 100 doctor's notes right now. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Wedding stuff. Sometimes after a wedding, I have heard this before, there's a lot of stuff left over from food to decorations. If you donate those things to a charity, you can get a charitable deduction. I've heard of people doing this with flowers. Like they take all the centerpieces to a nursing home or to a hospital, donate them, and then you have to itemize the deduction on your tax return, and you can consider it a charitable donation.
That's interesting. How would, I don't even know, I'm not even going to ask the question how they would depreciate the...
There's got to be a little bit of depreciation.
Yeah, I'm sure there's got to be a little, if you're on day 7 of these flowers,
I don't
you
think
hand
it's
it
gonna
over.
be day 7, yeah.
And they're like, well, thanks. These things are going to die tomorrow.
It's got to be like day 7.
Last but not least, how about tutors? Like educational tutors. If your child has a learning disability like dyslexia, as long as you, if you, again, have a doctor's note saying that this is a tutor specializing in child care and child education for said thing, whether it's dyslexia, you can write off the use of a tutor.
Listen, it can be worth it to look into all these different things. Everybody's trying to save some money, honey,
It doesn't hurt to ask the question.
Doesn't hurt to ask the question.
Honest to God, if you have a question for your accountant or somebody, just ask it.
But you should ask the question before you do it, because you don't want to end up like one of these celebrities who got in trouble for tax evasion. This is not good. Wesley Snipes, do you remember this? Now, this is the worst I think that you can do. He didn't file any tax returns. Here's what I think. According to conversations I've had with CPAs, the IRS doesn't like it if you do your taxes poorly, but they really don't like it if you just don't do them at all.
Correct.
If you don't file a return at all. According to People magazine, this resulted in $41 million in tax debt. And then he was convicted of 3 misdemeanor charges, and then he got a 3-year prison sentence for misdemeanor charges.
Can we just do like some quick math here? If, in that 3-year span, if he had a tax charge of $41 million, how much did he make? At least 100.
Well, that probably includes interest and stuff like that too, because once you haven't paid and then you have penalties and interest, they don't mess around.
Oh man, I'd want to avoid that one too. Real Housewife Teresa, I think she went through 3 last names. Giudice went on.
Whatever,
Yep. She and her husband, they tried to skirt some of this stuff. Anyway, she had to spend 11 months in prison for mail, wire, and bankruptcy fraud. And then Richard Hatch, the winner of the very first Survivor.
I remember that.
He actually tried to dodge the $1 million that he won.
I know.
Publicly, the whole world knew that you won $1 million.
He went to jail, 51 months.
51 months.
Holy moly. Okay, let's talk about some good news. The next Twin Cities Live AAA Minneapolis Fall Getaway location has been selected.
I love this.
I've been waiting for this today. So here, let's review. Let's back it up. We were asking you to help us decide where Kelly Hansen is going to go. The options: San Diego, Denver, and Portland.
That's right. So the votes have been tabulated. Thank you for everybody for contributing to those votes. So we'd like to formally announce that the winner, all these people that voted, Kelly, is going to San Diego, California. That was I think that was the favorite all along. And it was actually, from what I understand, pretty close to Portland.
It was pretty close to Portland.
It was pretty close to Portland. Yep. Denver, not so much. So the trip's going to include a visit to the beach, visit to La Jolla neighborhood, not La Jolla. Don't say it like I did for a whole year when I lived there. And you can check out the Midway Aircraft Museum, which I think is one of the best museums I've ever been to.
Very cool. You're also going to do a visit to the San Diego Zoo, which I hear is going to involve like a behind-the-scenes tour. It's not going to be your average visit to the zoo, which is an incredible zoo, and so much more. So we mentioned this trip is coming up in October 2nd to the 5th, to be specific. If you want to secure your spot, now's the time.
AAA Minneapolis has a special phone line. It's like a bat line just for you to give them a call, 952. You see it on the screen, 927-2644. Give them a call right now to book that trip.
The trip's going to be so much fun. One more time, that number, 952-927-2644.
There it is.
We're calling it right now to book the trip. It's going to sell out fast. If you want to go, get in on it. You're going to have a great time.
And if you use a rotary phone, you get bonus points.
Oh my gosh. My kids wouldn't even, I got to get one of those to just show my children. They wouldn't even know
like,
what to do
is this?
with it.
What do I do?
I know.
How do you call a number?
No idea.
I don't know. All right, after the break, Twin Cities Live in your town. Maple Grove continues with a pretty sweet place that's been treating taste buds since 2023, and the cravings aren't going to stop anytime soon.
Twin Cities Live's host chat is presented by Schuler Shoes, where happy feet means happy life. Step in today.